behind me dates back to 1242. So it's one of the oldest pubs that we have in England. For any Americans on the tour, I always like to say that we've been drinking beer in this very location 500 years before coffee was even founded. Something I really love about this pub is in the 1950s, they had this really eccentric landlord who worked here. And what he would do is if he saw somebody coming into the pub with an interesting tie, is without even asking them, he would just snip off their tie and give them a pint in exchange for the tie. And as we walk past the pub, if you look through this window, there's loads of ties hung up at the back of the bar from the 1950s, which this landlord just chopped off people. But a very unfair exchange, I think, because a tie is a lot more expensive than just a little pint.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Oh. Okay. Are they like really?
Yeah, there are like little tie ends hanging up there.
Nice. Walking along Oxford Street. How's you finding it so far? Nice. Christchurch. Oh yeah.
I'm trying to find a fresh bit of straw.
21 and designed by Christopher Wren. Have you guys heard of Christopher Wren before? No? Okay, so he's a really famous British architect that we had during the time of the Stuarts. And his most famous work was St Paul's Cathedral 101 times. It's 101 because this is the number of original students that we had.
To Oxford. So we're strolling around Oxford.
England, the way that you apply to universities is you do 3 A-level subjects, and they're the highest form of certificate that you can get at school. So once you've done your 3 A-levels, you will create a personal statement which you will send off to universities of your choice for a specific subject that you want to study at university. Usually once you've sent off your personal statement, universities will look at it and offer you a place or not offer you a place. However, it's slightly different with Oxford. So what happens with Oxford is instead of just sending your personal statement to Oxford University, you will send it to a specific college. So there are 38 colleges in total across Oxford. So you have to have a bit of research involved when you're applying, see which college you like the look of, and you will send your personal statement to them. They will then look at your personal statement, and if they think that you look like a good candidate, they will offer you an interview. Interviews usually last over about 2 days in December, where you will go up against sort of a panel of professors and be asked questions. And they're very, very intimidating and a very scary situation to be in. People often say that if you come out of your Oxford interview feeling like it went horrendously, then it means it was okay. And if you came out thinking that it was really good, then you've probably done something a bit wrong because it shouldn't feel easy at all. Then once you've had your interview, you will usually do an entrance exam specific to Oxford. So that's ignoring A-levels, that's a whole different exam. This is a bit of leeway actually for some students, because sometimes students don't get their grade offers in their A-level results. But if they've done really well on their entrance exam, then Oxford might look at it kindly, and they might think, oh, they haven't got their A-level results quite, but we really liked their entrance exam. So that's why they still have that system in place. And then if after all of this, they like your application, you've got past the interview stage, you've got past the entrance exam, then eventually you get into Oxford. So it's a bit of an ordeal to actually get into the colleges. Once you're in, the way that it works is you will be associated predominantly with your college. So whilst you're part of Oxford University, your true loyalties lie with your college. First years all live in college. So say you go to Christchurch, you will have accommodation in Christchurch. Then second and third year, you're given the option to still live in college, or you can move out to a house or something around Oxford. And a lot of students choose to do that just to have sort of the experience of living out of college. Within college, you have some amazing facilities available to you. So all colleges have a chapel, a library and a dining room. In the dining room, you'll be fed 3 meals a day, but you also have formal meals held a few times a week, which students don't go a few times a week. This is optional. You can choose when you want to go. And you'll dress up in nice dresses and in suits and wear your subfus, which is your formal robes that Oxford students wear here. In addition, we've got amazing facilities just within the colleges and just beautiful areas. So all colleges have quads and they all have really, really beautiful gardens. So it's a very privileged experience really to be an Oxford student. And on top of all of this, you pay exactly the same as anybody else for any university in England. So all British students will be paying £9,250 a year to study in England. And it's the same for Oxford, you don't have to pay more. Which people are often interesting because you do get far better facilities and better teaching in Oxford as well. The final question people often ask is about how the actual teaching works. So within your college, you will have your tutorials within your college. So you'll have a professor who is associated with the college who will take you to tutorials, and these are very intimate groups, so you usually have 2 students with 1 professor, and they're used for in-depth discussion. And then externally out of your college you'll have your lectures, and they're associated with your subject faculty. So within lectures you'll be with other students from other colleges. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to plough through this and hop out around the other end, and I'll give you some history of Christchurch. And it's amazing how you have such a large expanse of greenery right in the middle of the centre. And this has been a constant battle.
So like appropriate for
So we're going into the Divinity School at 15:15. Once we get into the Divinity School, I'm not actually allowed to say anything. You're meant to be quiet in there. Often people aren't, but I'm not allowed to give you any tour information because I have been shouted at. And it was originally used for examinations and for lectures. When you get in there, you will see 2 pulpits facing one another. And this all goes back to how they used to do exams in Oxford. So they used to do them in a very different way to how we have them nowadays. And what you would have is you would have a professor in one pulpit facing a student in another. And the professor would ask the student question after question after question until they couldn't answer anymore. So basically you knew if you were doing well in your exam because you would answer a lot of questions and you'd be there for hours on end. But if you weren't doing so well, you'd be there for like 10 minutes. So it's quite a good way of judging how well you were doing in your exam. Also at the back of Divinity School, you'll see a pair of double doors. You can't actually go through into them, but the room that they lead into is Convocation House. So this hosts university parliament. So nowadays, if the university wants to make a big decision, scholars from all the different colleges will gather in Convocation House, and they will have a discussion about the decision that that's going to be made. Throughout history, though, Divinity School has been used for numerous different things. So, for example, in 1642, when we had the English Civil War, this was a dispute between the Royalists and parliamentarians here in England, so they split into 2 sides. And Charles I, who was king at the time, called his parliament and his supporters to Oxford, and he called parliament into Convocation House, so he used buildings here to get away from parliamentarians. Again in 1665, Charles II, so Charles I's son, called parliament here to get away from a plague-ridden London. So Convocation House has been used for numerous different things throughout its history. But most importantly, it is also a location of Harry Potter filming. So you might recognise the windows when you go in, and the room is actually used for the medical wing in Hogwarts. So like when Harry gets his floppy arm and stuff like that, that's all filmed in there. It's also interesting to actually look at the windows because some of them are really, really old and some of them are original windows from when the building was sort of first made. And you will notice these windows because they're all warped. And this is because glass is actually solid, so throughout time it's been sort of moving and changing, and so you've got some very warped windows. And the interesting thing is, when you go inside the building, is you'll feel like it actually looks relatively new still, despite it dating back to the 1400s. And this is because Oxford is actually such a wealthy university that it can afford the upkeep of all of its buildings. So this is why all the buildings that you see here are in such good condition. To just give you sort of an idea of how much wealth Oxford has. In 2008, they set up an Oxford Thinking campaign, which was just basically a scheme to get a bit more money for the university. And they aimed in 5 years to raise £1.25 billion. They actually exceeded this and ended up raising £1.5 billion in 5 years. So the university was getting around £5 million a week in donations towards the university. And it's now aiming, just with this one fundraising scheme, to get up to £3 billion. So it's an extremely wealthy university, and this is why they can afford the upkeep of all the buildings that you see here. In addition, when you get into Convocation House, if you look at a chest that you will see on the left-hand side towards the back, this is known as Mad-Eye Moody's.
Yes, good. One person. So.
Here we are at the Bodleian Library. Wow. It's a library all over. We have to keep quiet. Come, so let's go in.
I can show you the toilet after. Sorry, it's just we have a time slot, so we have to go in first. Sorry, can you just grab those guys because we've got a time slot there? Thank you. Sorry, it's just they're a bit funny about time, so brilliant. Okay.
Wow. What is it?
The lady holding the scales is the personification of the university, and she represents all of the values of equality that the university holds. In addition, some people were asking who this man is, just here, and this man is the Earl of Tavern. And I always love the story behind him, because a few years ago, during the whole Cecil Rhodes scandal, when students were sort of campaigning to have the statue of Cecil Rhodes taken down, they decided to go and sort of cull of all of the statues that we have here in Oxford. And they looked into their history to see whether they deserved to actually be standing. Where it's the Western Library, if you head straight because it doesn't let in any undergraduate students, it's all postgraduate students. And it's a really, really difficult college to get into. They let in around 2 new students every year, so really hard to get into. Once you become a member of All Souls, you're in Oxford, with the tower dating back to the 1200s, and the main building dating back to the 15th century. Now this building is the location of one of the most important, shocking and gruesome history, and the English Reformation. During this time, Henry VIII really, really wanted a divorce from Catherine of Aragon, but he was failed to have one granted by Thomas Wolsey, who was the man who designed Christchurch. Therefore, he looked to his other advisors, and a man named Thomas Cranmer came to Henry VIII, and he told him that he should ignore the advice of all of his other advisors, he should ignore the advice of the Pope, and he should go ahead and just get his divorce by whatever means.
Oh, sorry.
Henry really, really liked this advice because it meant he could do whatever he wanted to. And so he made Cranmer ambassador to the Pope, ironically. However, before Cranmer could go off to Rome to see the Pope, the Archbishop of Canterbury died. And so Henry thought, ooh, who can I have as the new Archbishop of Canterbury? I know, the man who tells me I can do whatever I want to. And so Thomas Cranmer became Archbishop Cranmer, and he became one of the most powerful and most popular people in Henry VIII's court. However, then Henry VIII died, and this posed a massive problem to Cranmer because he realised, having initiated the English Reformation with Henry VIII, placing the king at the head of the church, the next monarch would have to be a Protestant if Cranmer wanted to stay in favour. This was okay because Edward came along and he was a Protestant, but then he died, which caused a massive problem for Cranmer, and so he searched and he found Lady Jane Grey, who was Edward's cousin, and he made her queen for a whole 9 days before she died, because Queen Mary, Bloody Mary, Henry's daughter, came and took her rightful place on the throne. However, Bloody Mary was a really strong Catholic, and she hated the leaders of the English Reformation. So this was Archbishop Cranmer and Bishops Latimer and Ridley. And so she started to persecute them and go after them and send them to trial. Initially, they were sentenced to be hung.
Guys, going to the covered market in Oxford. So they have like many food shops, jewelry, leather goods here. I saw cookies. Did you see the paintings? Yeah. It's at the Grand Bazaar, but Oxford's that. I was looking at the robes, it's so pretty. I'm just searching for some food. What pins again? What pins we were talking about? Like decorated pins, like you can put on your jeans. Oh, yeah, so like that's so cute. Yeah. What's this? Greek. I think Greek food. Ice cake shop. Smells amazing. Same. Because like they're also like close by, so I think our food is like similar in some respects. Oh, making cakes. It's so beautiful.
But
she doesn't know. Yeah.
I think
she's knowledgeable about like history. Yes, histories and stuff. I don't know about the nows. I think she knows about the dance. And like, I think she has like great knowledge because like she's so passionate about this. Yeah. Oh, there are salads. Ah, some butch. If you want some suits made, here's a place you can do it. Some vegetables in the middle. Maybe like we shouldn't be at the queue. Welcome to the covered market in Oxford. Vegan friendly. Huh? Oh, it still looks good. Yeah. Vegan pie. Yeah. So we're like couldn't find a place to eat yet, so we're just searching around Oxford town center. Hopefully we can find a place for this many group of people to sit down and eat. So yeah. Going to the Oxford bookshop.
Yeah, this is a store, it's just a bookshop.
There's t-shirts. I need to get some t-shirts. Oh my god. It's alright.
nice.
Do you see them?
Yeah, they're right. Timbuktu stuff. You can get some boots right here as well. In the casting, back in her daydream, they leave places, It's for 10. It's cheaper here.
How much did you pay?
Okay, so we're eating at the Eagle and Child.
We've just passed the point where
Welcome to Bottlestones. It's built on 1795. So the other pub was full, so we have to decided to go to another place so that could accommodate the bunch of us. Like the next place we're going because the previous one was fully booked. Third location, King's Arm. Third. This one looks hopeful.
Yeah, she's kept that for us.
So we're gonna eat at the King's Arm because we couldn't find So they're famous for their fish pies, like famous pies. So we're gonna get the root vegetable pie. Guys, we're back here again because the food at the King's Arm takes about 40 minutes. So we're gonna get a quick bite so then we can explore this place by ourselves. Okay. So I got a salmon mozzarella breadstick for lunch, and I think she has the same as well. So I took away some vegetable samosa and smoked salmon with mustard or hollandaise. Not sure. Bon appetit! How is it? Can I have a cup with vanilla and chocolate?
Vanilla, sorry. Vanilla and chocolate.
Thank you.
Are you happy, Rachel, if I put this in one end of the tub? Are you sure? That could be my end.
They're gonna have some ice cream here in Oxford.
I wanna go.
Yeah, we can go there as well. They even have Harry Potter stuff. Oh, sorry.
using our weapons, and we can't use our beauty. What makes us beautiful? We are very beautiful.
That's nice. Wow. Going to WH Smith. This is like a stationery shop. It's so cute. Is that the latest Harry Potter book? The Cursed Child. And we even have like labyrinth.
Oh. Spider-Man bus, I guess.
It's a sign that you must take pictures with the bus. You guys are passing a cemetery and that's a church right there. I don't know what church that is. Bye Oxford. It was nice knowing you. My name is the Church of St. Mary Magdalene. Oh yeah, I remember this spire. Ashmolean Museum for the toilet, not for the museum, but because we have no time, but it's fine. You can see some weird art metal structures on the outside. Yeah. You want me to go in? You sure? Okay, I'll wait you around. So this is the marble statue of the Roman senator holding a scroll.
Yeah, but it's 8 minutes from here.
What? Want to say something? I was trying to do the leaving Oxford. I can't wait for Brighton.